What is going on, people? My name is Chris. I'm a personal trainer, and I thought I'd start to put. Well, first of all, I wanted to get into YouTube a little bit more in it, man. But I was thinking about how can I do it in a way that is like a way that I can be consistent with it. So I thought, rather than like starting from scratch, I thought I've put bare posts on my Instagram, but I kind of like I don't really go into detail in it, like, man, or into a bit of depth about why I post some of these things up. So I thought, let me just take what I put on Instagram and use YouTube as a way to like just chat about it, have a conversation in it about why I've posted that and what it means and how you can kind of apply it a little bit more. Because I think with Instagram in it, you put stuff on there to just kind of get attention in it, for make people stop and have a quick look. But you don't. There's not as much detail. You're limited by the characters in there, innit? So I thought, why not use YouTube as the way to talk about it and have a conversation about it, innit, like, man. So as I talk about it, dive into the comments and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be doing it with a few of my posts, a few of the things that maybe come out of it as conversation points, or things that people just generally ask me. And I'm going to use my YouTube channel to just have a chat about this stuff, innit, like, man. Because yeah, through the camera, I think you can connect with people a bit more, innit? So we'll see how this goes, innit? So this is the first one, and we're going to be talking about this post. It depends. Yeah, before we get into it, it depends, innit? It sounds like if you ask your PT and stuff like that a question, what's the best way for me to, what exercises do I need to do to lose fat? What is the best food to eat to get a six-pack? And then when your PT says to you, it depends, they're not saying it to like to be a bit cop out, but it really does depend. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people think, with the advice you see on like magazines, on Insta, online generally, a lot of people think like fitness is very black and white, and it's not. There's so much like nuance. Did I say that? Like, how do people say it? Like nuance? Nuance? Nuance. Nuance.
Bruh.
Nuance. It's not black and white, innit? It's not black and white. There are so many kind of like factors that can impact an individual's fitness journey, innit? So thinking that because intermittent fasting works for one person and they've had like amazing results from it, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. So when you hear like a PT say to you, well, it depends, it's true, innit? You need to have some context about the person you're prescribing like a plan or a starting point for, innit, for you to kind of like give them like something that will actually impact. And a lot of it, I'll be honest, like with personal training, in my own experience, personally to myself and to my clients, is trial and error. You've got to try a few things, figure a few things out, before you can kind of say, yes, this is the thing for me. And even then you'll get to a point where you've got to switch things up a little bit to keep progressing. So it really does depend. It depends on you as a person. It depends on how much time you have to train, for example. It depends on your lifestyle. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people look at people on like YouTube videos, Instagram, and all these kind of like other platforms, and you kind of compare yourself, but you don't know what is actually happening on the other side of it. So for these like Instagram models or things that you see, you know, they might not have children, they might not have a 9 to 5 that is demanding. Literally, they might just have, all they might have to do, or literally their life is around working out. And that ain't realistic for like the majority of people out there, to literally be able to dedicate your time to just train, eat, and not worry about anything else, innit? A lot of us just have lives where it's like a balancing act of training when you can, eating right when you can. So don't take what you see online as like the gospel in terms of applying it to yourself, innit? So the best thing I think that you can do is to first of all be honest with yourself. I think, and there's no problems at all with taking like inspiration from the things that you see online and thinking, I want to try that, see if it works. But if it doesn't work for you, don't think you're a failure.
Think about your life. You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it.
It's just you figuring out, right, I've tried that, not really right for me. I want to try something else. I want to take bits of this type of training or this way of eating and applying it to what I do. So taking the good parts of it out. So let's look at me, for example. Like, man, I've, before I like got my qualifications to be a personal trainer and stuff like that, man was just doing a madness. Like you kind of get the bullshit chat that you hear from people on the gym floor. You get the stuff you see in magazines, the stuff you see online. I was trying all the kind of stuff like, man, to try to get like a quick result. And you soon learn that not all of that is good, not all of that kind of works for all. And not all of that works. And a lot of it is just because it works for somebody else and you've seen somebody else look like amazingly like ripped and you think, oh, that's going to work for me. And a lot of the time, that is not the case. So yeah, a lot of the results that you can get, I think, by applying all the knowledge you've heard about fitness, workouts, training, nutrition, it really depends if it's going to work for you or not, is what I'm getting at. So I think to answer the question for yourself, you just got to be honest with yourself, really. Think about things like how many days can you train in the week? What is your nutrition really like? What is your skill level? How stressed are you in the week? How busy are you in the week? And all these kind of things come into play with how a particular style of training or particular way of eating is going to work for you, innit? So, like I say again, if you ask someone or a fitness professional about, will this work for me? Will this way of eating work for me? How can I get a six-pack in 6 weeks? It really depends. About all those things, it really does depend. What was I saying? So yeah, it depends. It really does depend, innit, like, man? And that is definitely not a cop-out. That's just being honest. And I think you've got to be honest with yourself when it comes to your own fitness journey and the goals you're trying to achieve. Just be honest with yourself. And take the time to try new things, fail, reflect on where you failed, and then adapt it to make yourself better. That is the best way for you to kind of like learn, and more importantly, I'm doing a lot of finger pointing here, but more importantly, find out what works for you. I think, because that is what your fitness journey should be about. It should be about you, not what other people are doing. They say, comparison is the thief of joy, and that is so true when it comes down to like fitness and your journey. You know what I mean? Don't compare yourself to like what all these other people are doing. Focus on you and what works for you, and if you're consistent with it, you will get there in the end. You know what I mean? It might take a little bit longer for you. There might be a bit more bumps in the road, but that journey is unique for you. So don't think you can take what one person has done, shoehorn it into your life and it's going to work, because 9 times out of 10 that ain't going to happen. So yeah, I will say it again with my chest. It depends, bruv. It depends. Yeah, I hope that clears up where I was coming from with that post. But yeah, let me know what you think about it, innit, like, man. How's your fitness journey been for you in relation to this, and trying new things, failing, succeeding, let me know in the comments and that. And I'll do another one of these videos soon. Later.